Hi, my name is Laquon Treadwell. I am a receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hello, I am here with Laquon Treadwell, Jacksonville Jaguar, wide receiver for the Jaguars. And we're going to just have a little chat about his career as a professional athlete, just some different things about his routines and what he's doing here at Body Balance Institute, and mostly just about how he has gotten where he is today. So Laquon, where did this all begin, you becoming a professional athlete or even football? Like, tell us a little bit about your history and where you're from and what inspired you to pick this sport.
Well, growing up, I grew up in Chicago, originally. Chicago Heights, Ford Heights, bounced around a lot. We moved to this town, University Park, and that's when my football journey, actually my sports journey as an athlete, began. My first year I played football, basketball, and baseball.
How old were you?
I was 10 years old when I moved, and I started with football. And we ended up going undefeated my first year. Started as a fullback and middle linebacker, and we won the Super Bowl. And so from that point on, I just fell in love with football. And from transitioning from football, going into basketball, we played a couple games, we won a couple, so I'm thinking, okay, undefeated, right? And we ended up losing one game. And so I was just boo-hooing in the stands after we lost. And I just remember my mom telling me, it's okay, y'all got a bunch of games, because it's the basketball season now. But I was just so used to winning at a young age, and I'm just no, I'm not supposed to lose. How can I lose? How can I lose? And that was kind of how it all started for me.
So it gave you a taste of
winning.
Winning?
Yeah, it gave me a taste of winning early. To go undefeated my first year and win the ring, win medals, win the big trophy. Had a great coach, Coach Al. He just instilled so much discipline in us at a young age. It stuck with me, and that's what kind of set me into my career now, being in year 6 in the NFL.
Great, yeah. So that continued for you really, right into,
college,
high school, college. College was a great time for you, right? I mean, as far as your career.
Yeah, absolutely. Every level has been great for me. I'm still working every day in the NFL to, maximize my talent, maximize my abilities, and bring that playmaking ability that I had in high school and college to the NFL. So, but in high school, had a great 4-year run. Also won state there. Went undefeated my last year. Ended up getting scholarships going into my junior season. Was ranked number 1 in the nation at my position.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. And so went through that journey and getting recruited. Ended up going to Ole Miss, having a great 3 years there. Winning SEC Freshman of the Year, coming in, going into breaking my leg my sophomore year.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that was pretty defining for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was definitely a adverse part of my life. I was kind of used to adversity. My upbringing was a little challenging here and there. From growing up in Chicago, losing friends.
Yeah, you were tough. I mean, you were already a tough.
Yeah. I had to overcome a lot coming out of Chicago. And then I made it to college, and I felt like I was on the up and up. And then I, go through another trial and tribulation, but it wasn't about personal. It was more career-wise, and that was my first actual challenge in my career. And it led me to, really realizing who I really was at that moment. And then I overcame that. Ended up having my best year in my junior year, and still getting drafted, going first round.
That's amazing to overcome that. That's a serious thing for a runner, right?
Yeah. It was definitely challenging. But I also, I felt like I was prepared for that for some reason. From the first time it happened, I just felt very calm about it.
Huh.
Everyone else was in a panic, but for some reason I was in a calm state of mind. And I just got to work, and so I challenged myself every day to get better, and ended up going into my junior year really nervous, really not knowing what to expect. First play, or maybe the first pass play of the season came to me, guy dives right at my leg, obviously he's going to do that because,
really?
He's trying to get me down, but I avoided him. I think I got like a big gain or a touchdown or something like that. And then from there, it was just like overcoming small battles to like,
sure,
reach that end goal is to make it to the National Football League. And then I get to the NFL and, have my trials and tribulations early on in my career. Get a chance here in Jacksonville and really thrived in that opportunity. So I felt really great last year and, just trying to build on that.
Yeah, it was a great year. And yet, like, there was some, like, I remember when I first met you, you had just come to try out for the team.
Yeah.
And it was kind of interesting the way we met because it was through another fascial stretch therapy person. And, and just by chance, really.
Yeah. It was meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
Definitely meant to be.
And so, I'm kind of really just hoping that you get picked up by the team. And I saw that's just, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, you
come and try out.
He was right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
He was right in the thick, but you didn't really know.
I'd never been through this with anybody. What you went through with a player.
Yeah.
And then you get picked up by the team, and that was real exciting. And then it was that time when they're starting to make the 53-man roster cut.
And then they released me again.
And you,
but I still showed up.
That you were cut, you came in here. I didn't know that you'd been cut. Like, I didn't really look.
Yeah.
I knew that it was about that time, but your demeanor was
very poised.
Yeah. I'm just like, I didn't know what was going on. And we had this really interesting talk, and I don't know if you remember it or not, but I remember it very well because it was about, like you said to me, I'm in this point of my career where I think I'm really going to focus on sculpting instead of grinding. That's what you said. You're like, I want to just start. I just feel like that's my next phase of life. It's sculpting instead of grinding. And we had a whole conversation around my favorite sculptor. Remember, it got very kind of deep with Leonardo da Vinci and my
all
favorite
paintings and
my favorite sculptures were the slaves, which are unfinished pieces. Which made me just think about you so much, like the part about the unfinished piece. Like, nobody's ever a finished piece, right? And the next day, you're back, picked up by the practice squad, and I'm like, thank God. For me, my heart was just like, how do they do this? How do they go through that?
Oh yeah. At that point in my career, I had been cut before, I had been released before, and I would always question myself, like, why? Like, I know I can still play, I know I can still do this. And I'm just so thankful that last year I got to show that,
Yeah, you really did.
I got to show within that 8 weeks of playing that I can still play at a high level. I still feel like I'm one of the best guys on the field at all time.
Yeah.
Obviously that comes with, showing it every day and preparation and doing all the right things to get yourself ready to play. And I think last year I tweaked some things in my preparation. I tweaked some things in my thought process.
Like what?
Just letting my mental coach into my mental space, and just giving him kind of open access to, like.
You were open to it.
Yeah, I was open. Like it, and it's kind of cliche to say.
You were open and the teacher showed up.
It's like the saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So like my mental coach Scott, he does a good job of, like, not making you overthink situations, so you can overthink a lot of things in life, and when you've been cut before and you're constantly trying to make these teams and show them that you've worked hard all off season, you've done everything you possibly can, and it still goes a different direction, you kind of put it on yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? And it may not even be you, but
right, there's so many circumstances, right?
There's so many different
so many.
And so I've learned that over the years, and so last year I really accepted the fact that, like, the only thing I can change is in my present moment. And to the point where you brought up when they released me last year, I still came in, because
you showed up like it was just another day.
Yeah.
And when you left and I looked, I was like, I can't believe that was really just him after that. And then you got pulled up from the practice squad to the team for a game.
Yeah, got pulled up.
They called you while you were in here. I remember that.
Yeah.
And you were, I remember you were excited about that, and then back to the practice squad.
Yeah, and then pulled up again.
And then they pulled you up again, and then you played like the wind, man.
Yeah. I think it was just me consistently telling myself I can do this, and I didn't let
through the toughest of circumstances last year. And that was a tough year.
And that allowed me to reflect back on my injury, and it allowed me to reflect back on my childhood, and this is another, like, for me it was just another challenge. Like, how much do you actually believe in yourself? Like, do you just believe in yourself because everything is going good for you, or do you believe in yourself when things are bad? Like it's a saying, like, you'll tell the character of a man when he faces adversity like that. And I always revert back to that. It's like, well, this is adversity. This is as worse as it's going to get.
And you've seen darker things.
Yeah, of course. So, so it's like, for me, it was like,
it's just relative.
Yeah, it's like relative. This is my new challenge. This is my new adversity. And like, okay, if I sit back and I don't work on myself, if I don't get better, if I don't do the things that I know what made me great, when I do get an opportunity to show, I'm just going to be another guy, So, and then I got the opportunity last year, and everything just clicked at once. And like they say, like, you never see the work people put in when they reach those certain levels of greatness, and it's like, oh wow, how did he do that? And it's like, well, he's been working on that for 10 years. It just so happened, or for 5 years or 3 years, that at this moment that everybody else was able to see it. So. I think that's what happened for me. Like, I've had the same work ethic, the same mindset, just altered a little bit, and it just clicked for me last year.
Yeah, it's persistence,
and it felt normal. It felt like I was always out there. So
I gotcha.
And so I always figured I would get another opportunity. I just didn't know how long or when, and that opportunity came last year. And I just told myself I had to maximize the opportunity and make the plays count.
Yeah, you were in here a lot too.
Yeah,
I will say.
Yeah.
So how did that? Had you done? I know you had done Pilates before. I know you had done some of these things, but what was it like? How did this fit into, last year?
Yeah, I always pride myself on trying to find something to get better at. And when I found Body Balance, literally it brings my body to a balance. Football is so much of a grind, consistent pressure, consistent like determination and will, and like just willing your way to be better every day. And when I come here, it's like reverse. It's like I can relax, I can stretch, I can really like find my intuition, my in tune and fine tune my body, my mind, sculpting. My breathing, sculpting, basically.
Right. Like in every sense of that, right?
Yeah, like in every essence of that, like from my feet to my back, my hips. And, as a receiver, that's what we need the most. Like, we got to be able to move. We got to be, every position, but we run a lot. So in here, I feel like I can get to my end range and know where it is. So when it's time to run tomorrow, it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about my hammies. I don't have to worry about my calves or my feet hurting. I just get to see where my end range is here, and then go out on the field and kind of get close to it without actually going over that edge where I'm hurting myself, where I'm not available for the team. So I just think Pilates in general, it brings, what do I want to say? It brings like your creativity to life with your body.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like every morning everyone wakes up and they stretch.
That's a good way to put it.
And they just let it all go. But then that's really the only time you really letting yourself be free, in a sense of like your body. And even when you have a band, like there's some resistance in how you pull or which way you're pulling. But in here, you can like set your body in different angles. You can get different postures. You can, you can just do so much that,
it is so much you can movement. Do. Yeah, it's creative movement. All the stuff, right? Gyrotonic, Pilates, red cord, all the
so many,
stretching.
Yeah, so many different things.
Yeah, we take you
do.
Outside the box, maybe?
Yeah,
is that...
definitely outside the box.
You are only the guy who can tell them about wellness. That's what I think.
Oh,
but let's talk about wellness. What is it? What is wellness? What does wellness mean?
Well, yeah, I think wellness is just having a circle that you can trust, and knowing what your thoughts are, knowing how you feeling day by day. Just being very aware of that, and just knowing who you can lean on in your circle. And I feel like as athletes, we're put at such a high pedestal that we don't have an outlet to necessarily vent without it being social media, because a lot of athletes do go to social media, and it could be taken out of context. And,
dangerous.
And, it's very dangerous for athletes, and I feel like, I wouldn't say general population, but people that aren't athletes and they've been on there is not held to that high standard. But
I mean, you guys, anything that you do,
any huge athlete say
judged.
Something that is really judged. It's criticized and it's broken down, and then now you have to create another interview to back up what you actually meant. So it's like you're not really healing yourself or venting what you actually want to get across. So
you have to have that safe space.
Yeah, you got to have a safe space as an athlete. So I preach that to the rookies every year, because I've seen it, I've been through it, I took that walk, and I came out on the other side, so I'm all right.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, but definitely to work with you. I mean, such a pleasure to have been, I'm very grateful to have been on the sidelines on your journey and to watch it, because I learned so much from you guys. It's
been a pleasure to work with you too.
So much.
You made a huge difference in my career, and I'll keep sending my teammates your way.
Okay, Laquon. Yes. Yeah, it's made a huge difference in my life too. So thank you.
Thank you.